Hello, 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 everyone. Ooh, I told you that it's a 30 days power packed. You heard me right. So, yes, power packed with topics and, discussions that will inspire you, will continue to motivate you to take those, life changing decisions, positive life changing decisions that you can ever think of, right? So today I have with me here Miss Reena. In a little bit, she's gonna be coming on to introduce herself. But guess what? We are talking on the topic letting go of perfectionism. I want to believe that at one point or the other, this has really affected some of us, okay? Where we want to just make things as perfect as possible, okay? So Miss Renee is gonna go ahead to, talk to us today on what the best way to approach this, especially when, it's getting to a level where it's affecting us and affecting, things that we do and our goals as well. So Miss Rainer is all the way from Canada, right?
Yes.
So come
Yes.
on back. Come on back. Let's hear from you.
So, just a little bit about me. I work full time and then I do this part time. And I'm hoping to ditch the full time and go into this full time. Um, I've I'm very new to the business. Just about probably signed up April, so I'm still a 2A. And I did it for the same reasons most of us do it, to try and see if we can find more time to
Mhm.
be with your family. I have a mom that's down with dementia, and I have a brother that has leukemia. So I'm in between two countries, Canada and Australia, taking care of both of them. So that was one of my major reasons, was to do that. And of course, not enough savings with just the part-time job, this is where I am. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was kind of like, on the flock, and I saw this, and I said, hey, let me reach out and see what we can collaborate and do.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Renee. Thank you so much. Wow. For those of you that did not get that, okay, she is a business partner in our community. That is to tell you that once you are determined to step out of that comfort zone, you can actually do something for yourself. Okay? But it has to start with you. Okay? So, Miss Renee, today, going back, Miss Reina, right? I have a friend that is Renee. So that is constantly coming to me. So I want to ask you, a lot of people, especially let's take for example, our business, right? They want a perfect time, right? They
Yes.
want to make perfect decision. They want the situation around them to be as perfect as possible before they take decisions, right? So I want to ask you, Miss Renee, what does perfectionism, what does it mean to you? And
Okay.
how has it influenced you in your life and in decision making?
Okay. So for me, perfectionism, and I was one, um, if I couldn't do anything perfectly, I'd rather not do it. Perfect is not only probable but possible. This was what I was all about many years ago. So, perfection to me meant an unrelenting pursuit of flawlessness, and it influenced my life in creating a constant drive of just impeccable outcomes, often at the cost of my mental health, emotional well being. And this led to like self criticism, basically, anxiety, overwork. And I always say now, perfect is the enemy of the good. And so, recognizing its negative impact, I have now learned to value progress over perfection, emphasizing in self compassion, personal growth, which allowed me a sort of more balanced, fulfilling decisions and a healthier and happier life, literally. Um, Trying to be perfect, there's that you always just sort of self-sabotaging, because you're like, um, you're not meeting that expectation basically most of the time, because of the lifestyle is busy now, right? And so when you're not meeting that expectation, then everything else becomes critical, and it goes back to yourself. So for me, like, that's what I've taken, and I've turned it around and made into a positive, that I don't look at perfection, I look at setting rules in doing the task that I have at hand.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, what I'm picking from what you're saying, Miss Reena, is the fact that, perfectionism can be positive and it can be negative, right?
Yes.
When it is you desiring to do things the right way, that is still very healthy, right?
Mhm.
But when you are allowing it to be in the way of you even taking a step or doing, taking an action in the first place, okay, or delaying the action or effort you need to take, that is not healthy, right? So it depends on viewers, it depends on the way you are saying this, right? So at what level are you presently, people? Are you at that healthy level, or you are at the stage where your perfectionism is not healthy? So, and that is why we're here today, to discuss the fact that, you need to examine it so that you are very sure that it's not give putting you at an advantage, especially at achieving your goals. So thank you so much for that. So I want to ask, okay, can you share like a personal experience where perfectionism held you back or caused you unnecessary stress, and how did you overcome it?
So certainly, I once aimed for a very special project, research project that I was given, and I was obsessing over every details of that project. That basically led to excessive stress, missed deadlines, because obviously now you're not just dealing with your regular task at hand, but you're obsessing over it. So that stress is just a human nature that comes along with that stress, right? Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to meet the deadline or not, sleepless nights, and realizing that was very unstable, because it was obviously affecting me when I was going to bed or in the relationships I had. I embraced sort of a growth oriented mindset. So I set just more realistic goals. I prioritized, and self care was one of that. And I literally looked out and, looked out to the people I knew, and I sourced for guidance from the colleagues that I had at hand. And this shift allowed me to complete the project on time and successfully complete it. And also, I maintained my well being. So it has taught me that progress, not perfection, should be focus, should be the focus, reducing stress, and also then you're fostering personal growth at the same time, because you're learning how to deal with the pressure, but not letting that pressure get to you mentally, physically, emotionally, right? And then disturbing when you're not working on the project, then all your other life doesn't get affected. If you put those checks and balances in place, deadlines, set deadlines, realistic goals. Um, what else do you do when you're stressed? Things like that.
Right. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. And that will bring me to the next question, which is, in your opinion, what do you think are some of the most significant cost of, you know, per- perfectionism? What are those things that when you think that, you want to really, really, really be perfect, You really want to do things this exact way, right?
Uh-huh.
What are some of the costs? You said something now that, I mean, it can lead to you meeting your deadline, even though you are doing something right, but because it has not met the standard that you presume in your head, right? You
Yes.
it seems to delay, I mean, your achievement or the submission or the deadline for that goal. So I want to ask you, what are some of these other disadvantages or cost that it can come with?
So I feel that the consequences of perfectionism is that when you perform excessively as in a perfectionist behavior,
Mhm.
you can have an effect, um, which, most of the times I've seen it in a negative way than a positive way. And so being a perfectionist, you're always vulnerable to things like depression, anxiety, social anxiety, loneliness, impatience, frustration, anger, compulsive obsessiveness, which is all, it affects you personally on a far greater level than just at that professional level, because you carry that from your professional level to your personal life. And so, yes, I think it has far greater effect as for your being when you're trying to be uh, Miss Perfect.
Ooh. Well, I laughed, right? But then this is a very, very serious issue, right? If we are trying to be this perfect, as in perfect, it has a lot of things that it can cost. And, it's just overwhelming.
Mhm.
It's just so overwhelming. It can lead to you having an unhappy life, just like Miss Renner said. It can lead to depression,
Mhm.
right? It can lead to you, not wanting to thrive anymore
Yeah.
because you are thinking, even though you've not started that thing, you are thinking in your head that, oh, I don't think I have what it takes to make this as perfect as I would like it to be.
Mhm. and
So,
and
who are you today?
and even like societal thoughts,
Right.
people have thought about like killing themselves because they can't be perfect.
Wow. So, who are you watching this today? Catching up on this replay. What level of perfectionism are you? It is high time for you to start living life as it comes. Okay? Doing your very best. Guess what? Nobody can be perfect. Only the Almighty is perfect. Right?
Mhm.
But do the right thing at the right time, putting in the necessary effort. No matter how perfect we think we can be, there are some other people that can be better. Okay? So do not let that perfectionism, the act of being as perfect as possible, derive you of the pleasure of living life. And that is the essence of what we are talking about today. So let's know what your comment is. I mean, your opinion is about this topic. So coming back to you, Miss Reina, I want to ask, how can we really differentiate between healthy striving for excellence and a destructive, perfectionism? We talked about it earlier that, perfectionism can either be, positive or negative, right? So
Mhm.
when it is positive, it is termed as, it being healthy. You are striving, you
Mhm.
desire to achieve your goals, you want to take the next step, you are not scared of failure, right?
Mhm.
But when it is not healthy, you are that person that, hey, even if you fail, you let that overwhelm you and it destroys everything that you've all the effort you've been putting into something. So I want us to know, how can we really differentiate? What is the thin line between these two?
So, the way I kind of differentiate between the healthy striving for excellence and destructive perfectionism, I'll give you a couple of examples. Self reflection. So, the healthy striving for excellence is basically you are self reflective and open to learning from our mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You view failures as opportunities for growth and you don't dwell on those failures excessively. The destructive of that self reflection is you become overcritical of yourself and then you seize the mistakes as failures, which basically you become sort of fearful because you're
Mm.
making them. And then this leads to you avoiding challenges in your life because you're fearful of failing because you're so wanting to be perfect. So that's just like self reflection of the task you have at hand.
Right.
Um, the other one is time management. Individuals who strive for excellence manage their time in an effective way. They prioritize, so they set standards and
Mm-hmm.
goals and they task. So they time manage, which is a healthy way. Then, if you are destructive perfectionism, you spend an excessive time on that single task because it is not coming out as perfect as you want it to be, right? And so you're striving for something that may be unattainable at that level at that time. And so you've spent 70% of your time on this one task, but you have got 10 more tasks to go and you only have 30% left. So those are like the destructive portion of the time management of the being
Mm-hmm.
perfectionism, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, the other one is probably adaptability. So, a healthy striving for excellence in perfectionism would be you're adaptable to change. That's the positive side of it, right? Whereas the destructive side is you're often very rigid and inflexible. So, a resistance to change. And I think you find, like, as a perfectionist, you find that it is challenging to deviate from your original plan because you are so critical uh, in yourself
And
in
rigid.
go yes. So that's what happens when you cannot quickly, by the fly change because it's costing you 70% of your time on one task while you've got 10 more tasks to go, right?
Yeah.
So that adaptation is not there, that skill is not there.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. If you're watching this or catching up on a replay, I want you to take a moment, take a moment, take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I striving for excellence in a healthy way, or am I indulging in destructive perfectionism? Whichever way your answer is, take the necessary step. If you are, involved or engaged in the healthy strive for excellence, keep it and be so intentional about it so that you do not go beyond that. But if it is the other way around, I would say talk to people around you, ask for help. Okay, ask for help. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I want to ask you, because I know definitely, some people will be ready after listening to this. They want to take that step. Probably they've seen themselves that, hey, I never knew this is wrong, but now that it's being discussed, I think I'm at the edge and I need to make a U-turn, right? So I want to ask you, what are some of the practical steps that one can take, okay, to initiate a journey towards embracing imperfection starting from now? You know, some people find it difficult to embrace imperfection.
So what I have done over the years, and I've, like I said, in my um, 40 years of career, I've, learned from how I used to be when I was trying to be Miss Perfect, and to now. And the strategies I have and that I embrace 110% is set realistic goals and expectations. Um, Challenges self-critical thoughts with self-compassion. So challenge is self-critical thoughts with self-compassion. So you you criticize yourself, but compassionately, right? Celebrate your small achievements. For crying out loud, we don't celebrate our small achievements. Do that, because that just makes you feel better when you step into your next task, right? Learn from your mistakes. It's a valuable lesson. Prioritize self care and mindfulness. If you are so stressed out in a task, take a 10-minute break. Have coffee, have tea, have water, do some breathing exercise,
Hmm.
do a 5-minute, 10-minute meditation. There's tons of them out there on YouTube, you know? So it is really taking care of yourself. Your body tells you all this, that you're at that mode where you need a break. So take that break, right?
Right.
um, Share your journey with trusted friends or family members, or even a therapist if you have to, because it helps. Shift your focus from the outcomes to the process, and practice positive affirmations and self kindness. That, like, I am good, I am better, I am okay, I love myself, all those things. That really helps. When you say that 20 times to yourself, that does help. It elevates you mentally, emotionally, and that really helps. Let go of compassion, comparisons with others. Don't compare yourself with others, because what you can do, others may not be able to do. What others do, you may not able to do. So you're on the same level, playing level field. So I say comparison, kick it out the door. You don't need to compare yourself with anybody else. Accept all the imperfections, because it's part of a human being. We are all imperfect in some ways,
You're right.
and that is just normal.
Mhm.
So
All
those
right.
are, yeah, so those are some of the practical steps that I have taken. And one of the things that I have done, in fact, I've gone a step above. I Because this affected me a lot. Becoming perfect, always wanting to be perfect, caused a lot of stress in my own life. And so I actually one day was just thinking, and I was doing meditation online, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get certification to become a meditation instructor. And I went and I got out and I got it, and so now I've got the tools, and I'm certified. If I have family, friends, or colleagues that want help or whatever, reach out to me. I can do a 20-minute meditation with you online, Zoom. It's easy these days. So those are
Right.
the things that I keep in mind, and I go with the flow then, of how my next task or my next step, my next job, my next project is going to be.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Reina, for sharing from the, you know, Depth of your heart. Wow. This is so, so, so valued. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Wow, people, did you get any value from this? Did you get any value from this? What I see and hear Miss Renee say here is we should learn to, embrace our individualism, embrace who you are.
Yes.
Okay? Never try to compare yourself to another person. Right. You know what? Let me, quickly tell this story. Before actually coming into business, okay, um, to almost 3 years ago, right? I see myself as I try to be, I would say I'm a perfectionist, but I don't like failure. And the fact that I have to do a business online, I'm not a tech guru. I don't know much about tech and all of that. And so that kind of, make me zero my mind on it, right? But then, after coming into this business, I understand that, until you see life from another perspective, you will never think you can do things. And I've come to realize that failure is part of our journey, depending on the way you see it. You can see failure as negative, but if you have a positive and growth mindset, you will see that failure is actually a stepping stone to your success, right? So
Yeah.
no need for saying you want to be perfect. The most important thing is you are getting things done.
Yes. Yes.
And as often as you get those things done, you will continue to improve and get better on them, other than staying at the first stage and thinking you can be better at that level.
Yes. The other thing, M, also is I just want to realize and put it out there is that the bulk of us, and especially we females,
Mhm.
we have got so much hats we put on. We're juggling from motherhood to grandmotherhood to, worker to wife to spouse to whatever.
I
And so,
see ya.
in between this, then you have your job, your part-time business. And so you're going. So sometimes you just want to be that, okay, perfect, I'm going to do it one shot and I'm going to be done. But because you have so many other hats, it sometimes becomes impossible for you to get through and do anything,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So it's just, I mean, I say to people, just take a breather. Nobody is gonna get hurt. Only
Right.
you yourself will get hurt.
Right. Right. Thank you so much. Oh my God, we appreciate this. And Miss Rainer, what would be your last word of encouragement? I know we've kind of dealt in it, but kind of summarize your last word of encouragement to someone struggling with perfectionism.
I would say just strike a balance in your life. So yes, you can have that goal to be perfect, but always remember you don't have to be, right? There are tools for you to go through to get to perfectionism. Because if you if you're doing a task and you fail somehow, that failure is going to be a lesson for you to do the next task, right? And
Mhm.
so, you just have to look at it in a balanced way, the goods and the bads. And so I say, um, you know have that supportive environment. Reach out to people if you're having issues with whatever you're doing. Get that help. You can sometimes, you just can't do it all alone by yourself, because as like we women have so many other hats to put on and play that role. Take it easy. That's my thing now. Is I don't stress out about anything. I just say, okay, today this is what I have to do. I'll do what can be done. let's do, if it's not done, it's done tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow is still going to come, right?
Right.
Unless, something else happens, then that stays on. Nobody's going to get killed by you not doing it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. So at this point, I want to say, friends, viewers, what lesson or what point did you get from this? What lesson or what point did you get from this? One, learn to embrace your individualism. Try as much as possible to plan out your days. With that, you get things done. You know that you are timed. There is need for you to achieve things, right? Not just dwelling on one thing and wanting it to be perfect. And in that, it's affecting your overall goal. Thank you so much for being part of this live stream. I appreciate you so sincerely. And I want to say, please, as you are rewatching this, catching it on replay, let me know where you are watching from. Let me know what your thought is. Let me know, yes, what you've got in mind. And I want to say I'll be back tomorrow. Um, I'll be back tomorrow to talk with Erika. She's been here before on my page. We're gonna be dealing on a wonderful topic. Yes, that is gonna go live today. I'm gonna post it this evening. Okay. And yes, I'm gonna give you that suspense. That suspense is there. You guess what the topic is? It's gonna be amazing. So schedule that time with us, put it in your planner, and let's go crush those goals and try as much as possible to embrace our imperfection. Love you. And we'll say bye bye.